Hi, my name is Kathy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assign up to 4 different voices to different regions on the keyboard, giving each region or each voice the desired octave or even key, so that you can not only move from voice to voice by merely moving your hand to a different position on the keyboard, but so that you can play 2 different voices simultaneously. This works kind of like multiple splits on the keyboard. But if you try to do it by using the split button, the keyboard really only splits once, to an upper and a lower, if you're using the split function. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it a different way using parts, and we're creating an initialized performance. So here we go. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to hit performance. Then you want to hit job. And then you want to hit initialize, which is already pressed, and then you want to hit enter. And you have to hit that twice. Then, while you're in this screen, you're going to hit edit. And then when you're here, you're going to go over to these 4 buttons. It says part select. And you notice that that is lit, but part select. So I'm going to hit the first one, and when I hit it, it opens up this box which shows part 1, 2, 3, 4. The first thing you need to do is make sure that both voice buttons are hit. So you got F1 and SF1. Both of those have to be hit. Now I'm going to select the voice I want for part 1. So I simply go up to category search and choose what I want my low voice to be, whatever it is. I'm just going to pick a bass, and I'm going to hit enter. And so you can see user 3, number 104, that's a bass. So everything on the whole keyboard right now is bass. But I want to set it to its, give it limits. So I'm set it to its region. So I'm going to hit limit. Right now, every note, the lowest note is the lowest note on the keyboard, and I'm fine with that. So that's what note limit low. So I'm going to go down to note limit high, and I'm going to take that down to, I don't know, maybe F2. Let's see if that is where I want to be. I think it is. So I'm on F below middle C, nothing above it. Here's the bass, and it ends at F. So anything above F is going to be my next part. Now let's say I want my bass to be an octave lower than what I'm hearing. So I go to tone, and it says note shift. If you want to go down an octave, you go down 12. So minus, let's see. So I'm going to play that same F that I was playing before, but now it's an octave lower. Now that octave shift will only apply to part 1. It's not going to apply to your other parts, other regions of the keyboard. So now go back over here to F1 and SF1. You have to hit them both. Don't forget that. Make sure your part switch is on, or you're going to not hear anything. I'm going to use my arrow, go over to part 2. I got to turn my part switch to on. Hit category search. Let's say I want a piano, so I'm just going to hit enter. Now I got a piano. Right now I'm going to go to limit. Right now, I got piano everywhere. So it's actually doubling with the bass, but I don't want that. So you can't actually just layer things this way. So I'm going to change my lowest note of the piano to a half step higher than my highest note of the bass. So I'm going to go to F sharp 2. So let's see. There it is. So here's bass, piano. And right now it goes all the way up. So I'm going to set a high limit. So I just want 2 octaves of piano, let's say. So I'm going to go to F sharp 4 using my wheel over here. F sharp 4. There we go. So watch. Piano, and then I have nothing above that F sharp. So, and if I wanted to change the octave, I could push tone. Whoops, I pushed the wrong one. Tone, and I can change it. Or if I even wanted to change the key, I don't know why I would for piano. I can move that whole segment up a half step. You know, something like that might work if you're working with a B-flat instrument and you're reading music, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, so now I'm going to part 3, turning the switch on, hitting category search, and I'm going to choose a new instrument. So let's say I want to do a flute. Okay, hit enter, open that, go down and find a flute, hit enter. All right, so now it says user 3, that's my flute voice. All right, so now I have to go to limit again. Right now my flute is everywhere on the keyboard, but I don't want it to be layered, so I'm going to start my flute 1/2 step higher than F sharp 4. So I'm going to go F sharp. I'm going to go to G4. See, piano keyboard. Now my flute starts. And I'm just going to do 3 voices, so I'm going to stop there. So now, if I wanted to play piano with a flute accompaniment, I can do both at the same time. Obviously, I only have 2 hands, so I can't be playing the bass and the keyboard and the flute. So I don't know if this is a really good example of what instruments to choose, but I'm going to be doing a show, and I'm in the pit orchestra for a musical, and I'm going to be doing some strings and trumpet and bells and special effects, so I'm going to have to be switching a lot and doubling instruments, playing 2 instruments at the same time, so I'm going to have to customize it and set it up for each song in the musical. To save this, let's say this is a setting you want to save. You're going to hit store, and then it's assign it a user number, whatever you want to do, wherever you want it to be. Let's say I'm going to assign it to number 4, and then I'll hit enter, and then enter again. And now it's called an initialized performance, and if you want to look at the voices, there they are, and you can see the ranges that they're at. See that? There's the bass, he's kind of the low, the middle, and then the high is the flute. Kind of shows you that. All right, now you might want to name it though, so I'm going to go back to F1. There it is, initialized performance. This is how you name it. You hit edit, and you'll just get this screen again, but you hit this little key over here called common. So you have edit and common, and now it's in using your wheel, you can change the letters and you can rename it, and then of course hit store, and you've got a new performance, which is basically your 4 voices on different regions of the keyboard.